guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours regarding Apex Legends Esports, and of course we had the $50,000 grand finals yesterday. Match point, by the way, for the BoomTV Code Freedom finals presented by the Army National Guard. So if you guys want to sit today, all things Apex Legends Esports related, and not only who won the tournament, but also some roster implications that this may be having as well. Kind of surprised by some of this. Also some arguments, and then even some roster changes that happened yesterday, and some poor results that are already coming through. Not good signs to see, but let's go ahead and dive into it. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, here we go. Firstly, just wanted to mention Respawn did put out this tweet earlier today that there was actually, you guys may have saw if you were trying to play it all, that there was like an infinite loading thing on the loading screen. You couldn't get in, servers kind of seemed down, people were trying to host scrims in EU, and of course they couldn't get in. All kind of crazy stuff was going on, but they did say that they were working on fixing this connection, and I think that they did, because there was a moment where everybody was just able to finally get back into the game. So hopefully that is on the up and up. Also wanted to mention the results of this BoomTV 50K finals yesterday. Oxygen Esports going ballistic, really, with a 20-point lead against Alliance and LG, taking the dub on the night. So really good job for Oxygen Esports. Those guys have been really consistent, honestly, in the last probably year or so, or whatever, since they really started, I would say, Pro League and going into split 1 or 2 playoffs. I mean, since they got their 3rd place finish at LAN, I would say they've just constantly been improving and getting better, and constantly I think trusting each other a little bit more as well. And they're really just a solid team that is here to stay. They're not going anywhere. They're definitely not a fluke either. But it was really good to see Alliance, you know, playing supposedly what was New York servers, coming from the EU side and getting a 2nd place. Really good on them. Also, then Luminosity, I think I predicted yesterday that these guys would do incredibly well, and they did. Then Sentinels in 4th, FaZe in 5th. The Sentinels in 4th was a really good sign to see, because not only did you have that, but shortly after you had RKN come out on Twitter and kind of address these, you know, I guess hate messages that he was getting in the last couple of months after Imperial Howl, you know, went on Twitch, went on his stream and said that, you know, this guy didn't get any kills at LAN. You know, he's just getting handed a really fat salary check for Sentinels. It's not fair. And, you know, you could see his kills versus TSM. He posted this yesterday. I just thought this was pretty funny that you know, RKN obviously with 10 and a lot of damage as well. Then you look at what TSM was cooking up over here in Imperial Howl, 9 kills, so a little bit more damage, a little bit more kills. Actually, yeah, like very close in damage and kills though, but nonetheless, RKN just basically saying, look, I'm not like, you know, completely ineffective. But trust me, guys, this was not a serious tweet, he says. I just thought it was funny. Consistency is key. We'll see, obviously, how they can keep going moving forward. But I really do wish the best for RKN. Obviously, I think, you know, a lot of the hate he was getting is probably unsolicited. But also wanted to mention what in the world is going on with the DarkZero camp, because I saw this yesterday, and of course, we just said don't really worry about it. It's nothing too serious. And this was Sykes playing with Zero and Jin Burton. Now, we assumed that maybe XET was just kind of helping other people and filling in. But why in the world, if DarkZero was looking to play with Caprah, and they've been playing well with Caprah, why in the world would they not play with Caprah in this tournament? Now, to be fair, it is a serious tournament, but at the same time, it was kind of not serious. You know, there's a bunch of randoms in there, a bunch of people that weren't necessarily like pro leaguers, a bunch of people that, you know, no one had heard of. There was a guy even playing console in the tournament, for God's sake. So not saying that it was completely serious. Maybe some of these guys just wanted to have a good time, whatever. But it was weird that Caprah didn't play with DarkZero. Sykes played with them instead. I think Knock was playing for another team as well, just kind of helping out sub in. But then Caprah came out on Twitter after the fact and said he was still looking for a team for ALGS Year 4. Thank you to DNO for giving me a chance again. And then of course he was trying out and playing with DarkZero as well. ZZ had also said he was trialing, and then Zero was also saying that, you know, he was their 2nd. You know, that's why they didn't have 2 subs on the night. I don't really know what in the world's going on, but weird stuff to say the least. Who knows? Obviously, you know, Apex Legends roster changes are just about as inconsistent and wild as they come, and it just seems like every time you report on something, every time a story seems to be going one way, the next day it's a complete different story. You just can never keep up with it. But obviously, that's just what our job is here, to follow these trails and keep you up to date with what's going on. Also wanted to mention the Legend meta has been completely out of whack, and you could see even in this tournament, you saw a lot of teams running Conduit, and you've seen a lot of teams complain about Conduit. And what was really weird is Raven actually went on the day before to talk about how bad Conduit is, despite, you know, you playing in a contest or something. And then also saying that even though Conduit is bad, TSM was obviously still running Conduit because I felt like maybe they had to because of meat lovers. So you had Raven go through and say that the Conduit propaganda is nauseating because this character is actually horrible. But if people actually looked at every instance of the Conduit queue in VOD review, they'd realize 95% of the Conduit queue do not sway the fights at all outside of the contest and just break the ult. You know, obviously you could just shoot it. Now Alberlelli of course disagreed. They went back and forth on this, but you'll see a lot of teams are running Conduit, and there's actually a pretty good instance of Conduit that we would see even in the end game, actually not contesting at all. And I don't think that Conduit is really bad. It's just that teams are having a hard time probably immediately adjusting to how to play Conduit, and once you can get dialed in on how to play and you'll see Effect make a really good decision here, then I think Conduit can become super effective. But this was Nicewig exactly explaining that and then watching a team use it correctly. Roll the clip.
Bro, why are we not peeking when we have the Conduit queue on us? Stop healing, peek, and then heal when the queue is done. I love that Hotsick said that yesterday, and I feel like Effect is doing a good job of that so far.
I'm killing. Pushing.
Nice, and he doesn't need to heal because he has the Conduit queue.
Last one. Play
1v2.
Hack his shield. Nice.
There we go.
So obviously at the end of the day, there's a right way, there's a wrong way to play the character, but I think that it's going to be maybe a different time of trying to balance and calibrate yourself on how you're trying to play these fights. You can see a lot of these teams that were actually running Conduit did experience success. Of course, Alliance did pretty well in second place. You've also got Oxygen. They did play a lot. They did play Conduit at least the first game. Not sure if they continue to run Conduit throughout the game as well. But like I said, a lot of success going on here for these squads. But you can see down here, I think Meat Lovers was also running Conduit, not experiencing success and almost dead last, of course, but they're also landing and contesting TSM and losing the majority of those also. So it's obviously, you know, that's kind of playing a big factor in it as well. Also wanted to mention Fanatic, the brand new roster for the APAC North, you know, just announced their roster yesterday, and unfortunately day one did not go pretty well. 15th place overall in their result groups, and sadly enough, you know, you also had, you could just say that today was not their day. So not a really good debut for them, but hopefully obviously as time goes on, I really perceive that you're going to have a lot of teams probably change, because there's going to be another meta shakeup more than likely, because before Pro League actually starts, there's supposed to be another mid-season update. We might get patch notes, nerfs, and buffs again in the middle of those. I'm not exactly sure. Could also be like map changes, who really knows. So I wouldn't really get too caught up in what's going on right now, but at least teams can finally get to know what Stormpoint is going to be about and how they're going to be able to play that map and rotate it on as well. So really interesting stuff to see. Interested to see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date all things Apex Legends, news related and esports related. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.